And one of those habits is to begin with the end in mind. So just like his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, it is important we look at parenting the way we look at project management, but it's project management of the heart of this little child. How do you help the child grow, especially in the environment? Please do not underestimate the power of toxic environments on your children, and do not overestimate your resilience. Do not believe that, don't worry, it's my child, we know which family he came from. It doesn't work that way. We've got children of great prophets and great people of God who went the wrong way. We never put our guard down when it comes to protecting the legacy we call our children, and ensuring that what we leave for society is something that we are proud. We came to the world, we did good, and we left something good. Not we did what we could and we left somebody who is just going to become a nuisance and a liability to society. Raising children, especially when they are young, raising children is like building a house. The quality of everything is tied to the quality of the foundation. Once the foundation is weak, then it's just a matter of time. You will see cracks in the wall. So we can't joke with this period. And unfortunately, it's not as if this my first child, I've had him before. No, it's a first experiment. And because I have experience with my first child doesn't mean I know what to do with my second child. Each one comes with a separate fingerprint. Each one comes with their own trials. Sometimes you start wondering, is it me? Is it me or is it my child? That's the problem. Sometimes it's just life. It's not you, it's not your child. This is the gift God has given you. It is your trial. And how spiritually and emotionally intelligent are you going to be in trying to raise children? Children today come with some challenges that we did not face when we were children, particularly if you're a parent. Children are now exposed to more content in a week than grandparents saw in years. Just the content. They spend an average, depending on the country, but according to Pew Research, some of the global averages in industrialized nations are between 7 to 9 hours on devices. They get addicted to devices. These devices have, for some of them, become like a part of the body. To try and separate a child from a device is as if you're trying to cut his hand off or cut their ear off. They are so glued and addicted to these devices, and it affects too many things. Part of the big dangers of not controlling screen time, not checking, not putting any kind of surveillance on what our children do, push the children into a world online that we don't know what they see. They go into a culture of social comparison, keep comparing themselves, such that, and it is so bad that many young adults cannot afford for the world to see them in their natural state. And by we, I just mean the face. They are not comfortable, the world seeing them with the face. They have to put makeup. No, they have to Photoshop it. They have to get ChatGPT to polish their faces. It's so terrible that you see young people online. When you see them offline, you can't believe this is the same person. And that person offline doesn't want to meet some of the people who have only known them online. So there's a lot of comparison. This other person has this kind of phone. What kind do I have? It becomes very petty. They suffer from a lot of anxiety. How am I going to be assessed? What will people say? What will my friends say? How many likes? How many thumbs up? How many thumbs down? They have a much shorter attention span. You want a child to read a book that doesn't have pictures. God help you. It's becoming more difficult. The algorithms on the social media are training, studying how to grasp attention, and they are getting more customized and nuanced to particular users. You get young people with distorted values living in an echo chamber where they listen to people who like them and they don't listen to people who try to correct them. They don't go to websites or learn from anything that challenges them. They become very fragile to challenge. The moment you try to criticize, somebody feels distraught as if you have, finished insulting him, when all you're doing is trying to correct him. They're really difficult, and some have described them as a snowflake generation or strawberry, very fragile generation that we need to really be careful. These devices have not been with us long enough for us to know the long-term impacts. But I think just the studies that are coming out, Adam Alter wrote a very good book on Irresistible, discussing how the social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and co, are doing everything they can to get your children glued. And the network providers are all fine. The more time you spend online, the more money, the more data you spend. It's a win-win for them. The loser is your child. For me, I did not let any of my children have their own phones until they graduated from secondary school. I had phones they could borrow during holiday, but it is tabs. Use your tab. If you have a WhatsApp, you want to meet with your friend, you can do it on the tab, but there's no password. I can check anytime. Anything you wanted to work on, browse on the internet, do it on the laptop, and the laptop face the wall. Let the screen face the room so that at any moment, I know what you are watching. And I am, they didn't like it and they found difficulty explaining that to their friends, but I'm not consulting their friends and how they felt. It's very important to use times of discipline to teach ethics. Teach children how you think about right and wrong. Help them understand why you are doing what you are doing and why you believe it's in their best interest. Whether they believe it or not is a secondary issue. But at least you explain yourself. So it's not just don't do it. Why? Because I said don't do it. No, because I am worried that you don't go out, you don't make real friends outside, you don't play with the neighbors. And so even the screen time for the children, we used to have screen time from around 11 or 12 to 2 o'clock. And then they can, so anything they want to do with screen, television, watch a movie, play a game, go online, you can do it from 12 o'clock to 2 p.m. Then you have to break for prayer and lunch. Then you can start again at 3, break again at 4, pray, and then go back. But by 5, done. By 5, done. And during the holiday season, every student has to take online courses. Every child has to take, and they are free online courses, but they need to start beefing up their CVs, learning things about the various professions they are interested in. I'm not sure what I want to do, no problem. Go and watch a little video introducing law. Go and watch a little video introducing accounting, since you said you're interested in accounting. But use screen time productively. As parents, we must not just lecture, but listen. Try and help, cajole your child. Not everything is about lecturing and discipline and doing it just because I said so. Adolescents often will say, my parents don't understand the world I live in. It is true. But it is for you to help the child. Ask them, explain to me, what is it I haven't understood? Because if I'm your parent and I'm responsible between me and God on how I raised you, I'm interested if you have advice to give me advice. My children, I have never hit any of my children. I'm not saying it's always wrong, but it usually shows emotional lack of control. Sometimes it is what a child may need. But what I have done is I have not beaten any of my children, But out of the 3 of them, 2 of them have dug their height. Yeah, 2 of them have dug their height. So yes, I can be very severe when it comes to the punishment, but there's no emotion around it. I will help them bring a bottle of water, sit beside where they are going to start digging their hole. I will help them with the farming implements. I will come to hear how they are doing. I will say, well done. Ah, you've reached up to 2 feet already. Ah, well done, oh, etc. Like, there's no drama, shouting, but the child knows clearly, very clearly, the wrong that they did. A character flaw I will not tolerate. A rudeness to somebody that, no, not from this family. And yes, I will consult with my wife, and always consult, yeah, particularly when it comes to punishment, because maybe you didn't listen enough. Maybe, you don't want to prescribe before you diagnose well enough. It is important, and I know you've heard this again and again, that what you are speaks more loudly than what you say. What you are. We need to remember that parenting goes beyond rules. It's about modeling values, that you live it. They see how you handle your anger. They understand how to handle anger. They see what you are like when you are sad. They learn to model that. Children are not empty cups that you will fill with talk. They are mirrors that reflect what they see in you. And that's what they absorb. They are like ongoing cameras. They are like role model seeking missiles. They, especially from that young age, from that 13, 14, 15, they are looking for role models. And if you are the kind they are proud of, then it's something they will always remember and stay close to you. Children rarely remember lectures, but they remember how you made them feel. And this is why it is important to remember, and I'll say it in a number of ways with the hope that we will see its application. You cannot make your children respect you, but you can be more respectable. You cannot make your children trust you, but you can make yourself more trustworthy. You cannot make your children like you, but you can make yourself more likable. You cannot make your children love you, but you can make yourself more lovable. So you have to get out of this issue of, I'm going to change you, I'm going to control you, I'm going to make you. It is what you are that they reflect. If you lose your temper, they lose your temper. If every small thing you beat, why will you be surprised that your elder child is beating the younger child for every little thing? They're a mirror of who you are. So this is really important. They may forget the things you said, but they will not forget how you made them feel, how safe, how respected you made them feel. And when they know that even my father respects me, then they know people who insult them outside, like, they're not used to that. They're not used to seeing you insulting your wife, or your, as a mother, insulting your father in their presence. They reflect that, because if you disrespect your spouse, and this is why sometimes marriage counselors will say the most important factor in raising children is the quality of relationship between the married couples. Yeah. So part of your investment in your children is investment in your time with your spouse, your time with each other. When it comes to telling the truth, there's a need to live with integrity. It's not just being honest. I tell the truth. No, it's not just telling the truth, but living with integrity. Not, I said, but I meant, and you start wriggling around. They need to see integrity and honesty. They need to see emotional regulation. This is why it is important for young children to live with family members that are good, friends that are good, role models, people that are good, people who can show them how to deal with anger and disappointment, how to deal with failure. And this is why, as we will discuss before I close, the need to eat together. talk together at the table, and I'll say more about that. But family stories are really important, the successes and the failures. I was surprised when I was having some challenges with one of my sons, and, I asked him to ask my brother-in-law, can you have a word with him? There are things I don't understand what's going on. And my brother-in-law later came, and one of the things he mentioned was, your son doesn't know you, what you do, what you go through. You go to the office, I do various things. I'm into interfaith peace building. I'm into countering extremism. I'm into protecting women's rights and poverty alleviation and fundraising for orphans and this and that. And, I also am in business, and you get frustrated by this and that. But I usually leave my frustrations at the office and don't bring them home. I didn't know my children wanted to, particularly my son, he wanted to know what was my life really like. And so I learned to open up, and he would ask me, Baba, how was your day? In the past, I'll just say, oh, we thank God, alhamdulillah, everything fine, and how are you? And we change topic. But I realized he wanted to know my day. And I'll say, well, I had a meeting on this issue, and we're still not struck with this particular staff. Sometimes I'll not tell him the name of the staff in case he would know, but we've got a disciplinary case. A staff did this and that, and I'm thinking of this, but I'm not sure. I'll give it some thought. And he was interested in knowing the serious things, and that was a big bonding for him. I had brought him into my life. He understood more from a more 360 degrees angle who his father was, not just the face he saw at home, but the one that the world saw of his father. So very important for us to show them how we handle the challenges that we face in life. But at the same time, very, very important. And I would recommend a book called, it's by Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning. Man's Search for Meaning. It's a very good book on meaning. Another book is The Alchemy of Happiness. The Alchemy of Happiness. Alchemy of Happiness has been translated by a guy called Mukhtar Holland, by Abu Hamid al-Ghazali. It's a book that if you don't have clear meaning and purpose in life, that book is excellent, full of stories, full of metaphors. It doesn't matter what your religion is. I think you will benefit from The Alchemy of Happiness, and you will also benefit from Viktor Frankl's book, Man's Search for Meaning. It is important to help children have a purpose-driven life, connecting success to service. Let them understand that, yes, money can buy you pleasure, but it doesn't give you happiness. Happiness is a byproduct of service. It's showing compassion, not just consumption. It's not we having more and more, but for them to taste the sweetness of helping others. That one, God somehow has put in us a release of joy in our own spirit once we're able to touch the pain that people go through. I remember a young man once said, my father never gave me long advice, but when I saw him give food to the poor secretly, I knew what generosity meant. In other words, for this person, talk, but when he saw how generous his father was secretly, how he would quietly get up in the night and go and pray. Just no disturbing anybody, his own little night vigil. These are things that are very powerful. For building emotional security in children, couple of quick things I would say as my time starts to run out. It's important to remember research shows that adolescents with secure attachment to parents, so the boys are close to their parents, the girls are close to their parents, the girls are close to their fathers and mothers, this secure attachment to parents, these people are less likely to engage in risky behavior, substance abuse, early sexual activity. Girls that are very close to their fathers and the fathers are good, they get to experience positive masculinity. This is becoming very, very important today, and it's a very powerful vaccination against peer pressure. Let's be very careful about our busy schedules trying to provide hardware and food for the family when they actually want our time and a part of our hearts. So let us, the way we schedule time for meetings, we schedule time for outings with the family, the way we schedule our priorities, let's put family as a priority that we schedule before we just prioritize any schedule. So we put first things first, and the need honestly to create this safe space for children to feel they were parented, not just raised by each other. The tendency in many cultures is to let the first child raise the second child, the first and second raise the third child, so that ultimately the third child and fourth child, 90% of their upbringing was done by other children. They were raised by children. So why will the last born not be a spoiled child when he was raised by children? He wasn't raised by parents. So let's be really careful about that. As we try to correct our children, let us try and see how to create safe spaces where our children can share their struggles without fear of humiliation. Let us learn to listen empathically before advising, diagnose, listen to the tears, listen to the frustration, not just the words. So I would very, very strongly encourage the books by Stephen Covey, especially a habit he calls seek first to understand before you seek to be understood. His book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and also 7 Habits of Highly Effective Families. But this seek first to understand an empathetic listening, listen to the feelings, not just to the words. Importance of discipline in how we correct people. And as I said earlier, help them understand the logic of discipline. Learn discipline without breaking the spirit. Don't, make the child feel I'm dirty, I'm useless. No, you made a mistake. Learn from it and let's move forward. In the airline industry, when there's a plane crash, they look for the black box. What do they learn? And they make the necessary corrections. And the airline industry has continued to get safer and safer with every accident. Every single accident that happens in the airline industry, the whole industry wants to know what was in the black box so as to ensure these errors are not repeated. And so I would say, to just share some practical tools. Number one, have daily routines. Eat together. For many families, it is when you are at the table that you actually have time to listen to how was your day and what did you do. Otherwise, after meals, if you are to put a recorder in some people's sitting room, you'll just be hearing the recorder is just, why did you drop your, who left the door open? Close the curtain. Who dropped their shoes there? Tidy this. What are you sitting like that for? Put your feet down. The recorder will just record instruction. This is very unhealthy. So the need for us to be more reflective about time with the children and to take advantage of mealtime. Eat together, pray together, you stay together. The other thing is find some source of readings that create spiritual and moral ethical reflections. So for me, every day there are either verses of the Quran or hadith statements of the Prophet carefully selected. There are many books, whether you're a Muslim or Christian, there are many books prepared by your religious leaders for children to go through. One, a very good book for people of any religion. What's it called? I'll think of the name. The Virtues Guide, Family Virtues Guide, Family Virtues Guide. A very good book. Every chapter has very good lessons with quotations from various scriptures so that the children are open to learning from the wisdom of other traditions, philosophies, ideologies that have something positive to give. That's also useful. And when I come to read any part of a religious scripture with my children, I usually have 3 questions. MIA, meaning, implication, application. What does it mean to you in your language? What's the meaning? Then implication. So what? so what about it? And then the application, the now what action follows? How do you apply? So MIA, some would say missing in action, but MIA meaning implication application. What do you know? What do you understand? The so what, and then the now what of reading. So anything. The other thing is, now that my children, some of them are adolescents and 17 and above, I give them books to read. So a book, nonfiction. One of them is reading the book by Morgan Housel called Same as Ever. And when we meet, these are during holidays, okay. Yes, no, interesting. Share prayers. They lead prayers in the morning. When we have prayers for the family, they will lead. But also I do a lot of storytelling so that I am able to put lessons through metaphors, through stories, through fables. It makes it less boring than, trying to teach them ethics. So Aesop's fables, and there are a number of very good books that have morals and lessons to learn. Importance of weekly rituals. Now, what I mean by weekly rituals are like family meetings that allow children to voice opinions. You could pick days of the week where, okay, on this day, on Friday, we will go and have dinner somewhere, but we will also use it as a time for what's going on in your life, what are your challenges, what are your concerns, creating that space for them to be open. Digital discipline. Definitely no screens during meal times, of course, not during prayer times, and not in the bedroom. If you have anything you want to do with screen, come to the sitting room, do it there. Especially when they are young and you really want to know what they are watching, because the algorithms are hunting for your children to expose them to porn and things that you just won't believe. One of the biggest sources of bullying for a lot of adolescents is they are bullied by their colleagues to take pictures of their private parts and show. This is becoming nearly an epidemic. So when you see children spending too much time in the bathroom with their phones, make it clear, phones stay in a place where we know what's going on. So importance of having these tech-free zones during meal times, etc. Teaching responsibility, give age-appropriate tasks. Let them learn to wash. Let them learn to clean. Let them learn to wash their dishes. So, for example, in our house, we have house help and all that, but dinner and the washing up for dinner, the children will wash all the bowls before they go back. They have veranda cleaning to do in the mornings. They've got, it's not just tidy your room, that's all. No, let them be involved in chores. Let them have tasks that they do. This is good for their own self-confidence, for their own self-esteem as they move into the future, and they don't look down upon these jobs. You prepare them for life, not for dependency. If they don't know how to do these household tasks, they leave dependent. They're, always dependent. You can't prepare them for life if you allow everybody to do everything. Let them learn to ride bicycles and fall on bicycles. Let them learn to cut something with a saw. They will injure themselves from time to time, but no problem. They're not going to die, but at least they've learned to do it and they know how to do it. Confidence building. I will end by just reminding us that when we raise our children, let's ask ourselves, will our children say, my parents taught me how to love, how to forgive, how to pray, how to stand for truth? My parents taught me courage and integrity? Or will they say, my parents only taught me how to fear and obey rules and chase success? Think carefully, which one are you teaching your children? We continue to pray God to make our children the coolness of our eyes. We look at parenting as if we are writing a letter into the future. Your child and everything you teach is like writing a book that goes into the future. Each day, it's like writing another line in that book. And one day, that book will open and the world will read it out aloud. What will that book say? What will the world say you gave them in the form of your child? They are too precious for us to get distracted by our own devices and our own petty struggles. I'll stop there. I have overshot my time. Thank you for your attention and for the opportunity and your patience. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khairan kaseeran. We are so grateful for this inspiring, so deep lecture. It's beautiful. Mashallah, alhamdulillah. Really, I don't know how many people are nodding their heads right now, because not only has he done justice to the topic, he has left an indelible memory for us not to forget, because there were so many important things that he mentioned. One of it is the 3 sevens, the first 7, the second 7, and the third 7 years of each of our children's lives. Each of them have their specific developmental role. What about the books he has given us? Laudable books. We really appreciate Dr. Nuruddin Layman. It's an excellent delivery to the topic. And okay, let me quickly run through the books he has given us. The first one is 7 Habits of Effective People by Steve Jobs. Then the
Stephen Covey.
Alchemy of Happiness by Al Ghazali. We have Remember Adolescence. Okay, no, that's not a book actually. Then we have Family Virtues Guide by Dan Popov, John Kavlin, and Lida Kavlin. They are excellent books, and I hope I will be able to get the Family Virtues Guide. So truly, remember, learn discipline without breaking the spirit. One of his key words. Learn discipline without breaking spirit. So I would like everyone to kindly show their best emojis to appreciate him. And if we have any question for him, please let's have it now so that you can do justice to it. I'm sure there are lots of people who have, especially regarding the use of gadgets, there are lots of people who have questions to ask. So many appreciation. Thank you, Buddha Komariam. I can see you. Mujre, thank you. So on behalf of Dr. Floti Journey, thank you. Thank you so much. Any questions? Wow. At this rate, you are leaving me with the thought that Doctor has given so much justice, we are left with absolutely nothing rather than to ruminate on what we have learned today. And please let me let you know at this junction.
We have somebody asking, raising her hand. I think she wants to unmute to ask a question.
Okay. Please, let's have your question.
Amadara, hello.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum. Should I put it in the chat box so I can just say it out?
You can say it out. You can say it out now.
Okay, so Assalamu alaikum and thanks for hosting this. Sheikh, also, thank you so much for this session. May Allah bless you. I just wanted to ask that for people who aren't parents yet, what would you consider to be the most important things to do to prepare from a self-development perspective? What would you consider to be the, I guess, top 3 things to do to probably work on yourself in preparation for having children whenever you end up having them? That's what I just wanted to know. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Please.
Yes, I also have a question. I'm raising my hand. Can I go ahead?
Yes, please go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh, for the fantastic delivery. And thank you for the organizer. So I have 2 questions. Question number 1 is that, okay, I applied the rule of no gadget in the room. Everybody must be in the sitting room. But it was easier for me to apply it because my kids were in the boarding school. So when they just come around, but now they're likely going to be at home. So my question is, because now we want them to read, We don't want them to be in the sitting room, being distracted by the crowd and the noise. How do I balance that private, will I say, private opportunity for them to study in their room with with not doing with unnecessary independence, doing whatever they want when they are in the room? That's my first question. My second question would be, what would be your advice for a child that's struggling to manage anger? Okay, I think as a father, I lived in denial, accepting that she or he has anger issues. But I think the reality is coming out so that she truly has that challenge. What would we advise for such? Thank you.
All right, I think we have another question here. This one is from Marufa Otolorin. She says, what are the practical ways to heal from one's childhood trauma? And then,
Please, I can see doing raising her hand too. She can send it.
Someone else said, please, how do I get family values guide? Can you please share the author's name? So that's what we have in the chat box at the moment. Thank you.
Yes. So we take one more question from the audience. Somebody who wants to speak, and then Sheikh and I'll answer the ones that we have on the ground so that we don't spill over into the next session. All right. Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Jazakallah khair, Sheikh, and to the organizers. So my question goes this way. I've heard so many people talking about introduction of gadgets after the children leave secondary school. But for those of us who, may Allah help us all, had introduced gadgets right before, while my children are still in secondary school, while the children are still in school, and now it's like, how do we really do it? How do we balance this up? Because now taking it away from them, it's not that we don't take it, but because they've been used to it right from secondary school, it's kind of, I don't know what I should use the word addicted. How do we balance up, sir? Assalamu alaikum.
Give me one. Okay, I think it's time. I think she can answer the questions now, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. Very good and deep questions. So the first one, where somebody is not yet a parent, I'm not sure whether this person is already married or not. So I will start with the assumption that the person is not married, and the person is planning to get married and get children. If you're already married, okay, so Modara says not married. If not married, I think the number one is pick a good father. And I'm assuming if you're asking on your own behalf, pick a good husband, pick a good father for your children. And of course, if it is a man, pick a good mother for your children, number one. Number two, remember that a significant part of the success is that you as a couple operate as a pair when raising your children. And so your relationship is really critical. And so while we will say prepare to be a good parent, yes, but also prepare to be a good spouse, because that is critical to your success as a parent and as working as a team. If you're not working as a team, your children will take sides, your children will take advantage of the crack in your relationship and use one. If I want something I can't get from this one, I know who to go to. Children can be very manipulative. So it's important that you work on your relationship with your spouse. Once you've gotten that, a lot has been sorted out. As we said earlier, you want your children to respect you, be more respectable. So you have to work on yourself. You want your children to trust you, be more trustworthy. So it means you have to work on yourself. If you want children to love you, you have to be more lovable. If you want them to depend on you, you have to be more dependable. So you have to work on yourself. So at the end of the day, your situation doesn't change if you are not ready to change who you are to become a better person. As we said before, children are like mirrors. They will reflect what they see around them. They are not sponges just absorbing things you say. So I would want to, I can't overemphasize that. Otherwise, I would have liked to spend a whole hour on this issue of everything is a product of what you are, what you do. You squeeze an orange, you get orange juice coming out. You squeeze grapes, you get grape juice. You squeeze a watermelon, you get watermelon. It's sweet. You don't squeeze an orange and get something sour unless there's something wrong with it. So when life squeezes you within the family, and there will always be some squeezing, children will squeeze you, let it be something that is sweet, something that the children respect. So you need to work on yourself, studying subjects like emotional intelligence. So, the Boy Scouts motto, be prepared. But at the same time, remember, there's no strategy. In the military, they teach soldiers that no strategy survives contact with the enemy. So if you have your strategy of doing things, you have never tested that strategy on your child. It will not always work. You'll have to re-strategize while you are raising the child. However, some very good books on self-improvement, books like Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Goleman, books like 7 Habits by Stephen Covey, another book, Egonomics by 2 guys, forgotten their name, but Egonomics, very good books on managing your own ego and seeing how to keep it under control. Maybe Amina can put in some of these books. You can get them online and put them in the chat. Yes, thank you. So 7 Habits is there. The Secrets of Happy Children, there's book 1 and 2 by Stephen Biddulph, a very good book, The Secrets of Happy Children. All My Children Are Boys. Those books were good generally for boys or girls, but he has another book called Raising Boys, which is a very good book, Stephen Biddulph, Australian author. And lastly, when it comes to prepare to be a parent, prepare to make mistakes. Prepare to learn from your mistakes. Prepare that all your preparation is not perfect. So there will be the need for some black box thinking. And in fact, there's a book by that name, Black Box Thinking, by, I think it is Said Matthews. Very good book on learning from your mistakes. Kim Scott wrote a very good book called Radical Candor. How to give feedback in an honest, firm, clear way. It's a book that's useful for management, it's useful for family, originally written for workplace environment, but I think it teaches some really critical things. Another thing sometimes when dealing with children, and I heard it from the last question, children addicted, how do I do it, where you're trying to play a diplomatic game, which has its uses. But a book that is worth seriously looking into is called Courage is Calling. Courage is Calling by Ryan Holiday. Because sometimes we just don't have the courage to be disliked by our children when that is what is in their best interest. My child is going to stop talking to me, and so therefore you turn into a negotiating game and you start, all right, let's give you what you want. You don't know how to put your foot down. Courage is Calling is a really good one I would recommend. The second question to do with alternative to gadgets during holidays, when they come. One of the things I do is I don't have a limit to budget when it comes to children's books. On the condition, well, I have a limit. I give them a maximum of 5 books. So we go into a bookshop. Go and pick any book you are going to read. You go and pick your book. I just want to make sure it's not a book with adult content. This is since they were teenagers. We'll go to a bookshop, go around, spend the time, pick the books you want to read. And they go and pick. I'm ready to pay on the condition that you will read. So one of those, for my parents, I think maybe because I was not as naughty as some children. Any book I wanted, they never had a cap on budget, if it was books. I mean, of course, we didn't deal with screen time as much as this generation did. But it's good to have books so that when you say no to gadgets at this time, there's an alternative. Yeah, there's an alternative. But you can't say no, and there are no books around, nothing interesting to do. Of course, they will see you as a fun spoiler, and you're not giving alternatives, so you're not being rational. You're punishing them for what? The other thing is have screen time. You're not saying no screen, but you are restricting the time. So we usually put screen time to be the times when the sun is out, it is really hot, so like during holidays. And in the mornings, go and play with the neighbors. Go and find something else to do. But not you wake up in the morning and you've got a screen. And that's why we left screen time till around that kind of 10, 11, and sometimes till 12 for screen time. In the morning, go play football, go play table tennis, go whatever it is, but go out and do what human beings did before these gadgets were invented. And learn to be humans and learn to, I mean, a human being is so entertaining. Like, children get together and the other child is the toy of this child, live oneself, so they can find fun. If you, what was it? There's another book by, it's the 7 Habits of something kids. Of effective kids. It was written by Sean Covey, the son of Stephen Covey, and it was animals who were discussing various habits. And one of those habits was make your own fun. So it's like being proactive, teaching children to be proactive, make your own fun. That was a very useful book when it came to our children, because then you say, okay, no gadgets. How do you make your own fun? And they have to think, how did we make our own fun? What happened to toys? What happened to the moment you bring something that's got an algorithm that will attract the child more than play? Of course, they will get addicted to that. So the other thing is, of course, having their number of parenting apps. Some are quite cheap. Some are that you can put on these gadgets that give you snapshots of what the children are watching from time to time. So you've got an idea. It doesn't give you too much detail, depends on what you paid for, but at least you've got an idea. So my wife, is the one that usually has that directly on her phone and keeps an eye and a tab on things. And the children know we are putting this app, so don't remove it. But so it makes them more conscious. It's us doing our best while we can. When the child has gone to university, made mistakes, etc., at least they will not say we didn't help them, we didn't try, we didn't warn them. They don't get into the rabbit hole. They will, of course, do their own thing, but at least they know as parents we tried. When with a child struggling to manage anger, and this could be for various reasons. So this is a difficult question. It's like the other one on childhood trauma. These are 2 very difficult questions, because why a child is struggling to manage anger could be from many sources. It could be a trauma. It could be how they have seen you handle your own anger. It may just require, helping the child spot the signs of anger. And sometimes children just, they short circuit. And so there's an interesting discussion on this in the book, Egonomics, and how for children, there's a level of heartbeat when they are angry or so excited that it literally blocks their listening. Yeah, the nerves to the ear. So in other words, you are so angry, you can't hear. Now, it also depends on the age of the child. Sometimes they are struggling. They want to say something, but they just don't have the vocabulary, and that frustrates them even more. So some of these kinds of anger gradually dissipates with time. But one thing that is also useful is martial arts. I know it sounds, paradoxical. Why teach a child that has anger problems martial arts? Martial arts, this is a place where you will get kicked, you will get punched, and you are to learn to hold your cool. I used to have a serious anger problem when I was still very young. And I went into the martial arts, and it did help me calm down. So I know it works for some. But both for the question on helping a child going through trauma depends on what the trauma is, the cause of the trauma. Has the child been abused by somebody nearby, by somebody, like it could be so many things that's affecting. So this is where I would suggest, if you have a child psychologist, a pediatrician, or somebody who can handle or give better advice than I could based on the specific needs of the child. So this is not something where general advice or ChatGPT would help. I think look for somebody who knows what they're doing, who can discuss with the child, ask you questions. What are those triggers that bring about the traumatic or this anger? But also for adults going through childhood trauma, depends on the type of trauma, what it's doing, because there are a lot of embarrassment we have these days around trauma and mental health issues, unfortunately. But you know, just as the physical body gets its wounds and injuries, so does the mind get its own wounds and injuries. Sadness, a period of sadness can be more detrimental to your health than a cigarette. You know, one puff of cigarette is detrimental, but sadness is also detrimental. It's just that one is more visible, the other one is more invisible. So we don't see the psychological hurts to our minds. And so I think it's better, you know, to get somebody who you can speak to, who can help in identifying what's the trauma and how to move forward. But please don't be embarrassed. It's not your fault you went through childhood traumas, and just seek help, because if you go around with these emotional scars, it affects how you raise children, it affects how you live with your spouse. It has collateral damage that's sometimes not very something we are very conscious about. So please take it seriously for the sake of those you love also, but also for your own sake. The last question on children who are addicted already to their phones, let's flip it another way. If they were addicted to drugs, what would you do? You know, in drug rehabilitation, they will stagger, they will reduce exposure, reduce doses, gradually wean the person off. And so when it comes to children who are addicted to their phones, one of my colleagues, his son was addicted to his phone, like complete. You take the phone, the child will scream. So you have to look for staggered ways, gradual ways. If you're going to take the phone from the child, tell them you have, I'll give you another 5 minutes, or in 10 minutes, or this time, please, the phone has to be kept whatever off. So the child doesn't just get you yanking the phone out of their hands. They understand it'll happen in the next 30 minutes or in the next 10 minutes. They've got the time to mentally prepare for the detachment from the phone. So this, if they are used to screen time, X number of hours, 7 hours, 9 hours, start with 7. After a couple of weeks, when that's been normalized, go down to 5. Gradually, if you go too extreme, they have not prepared themselves with what to do with the extra time when they have no screens. They're not used to being off, especially when they have been, they're addicted to screens. But also, depending on the age, have an age-appropriate explanation you give them regarding why you need to do this over this amount of time. Please, whatever is important to your children should be as important to you as your children are to you. I will repeat. Whatever is important to your children, their mental health, should be as important to you as your children are to you. And so if addiction to phone is a problem for your children and your children are important, then go and read about it, learn about it. You know, this is why I mentioned the book by Adam Alter, Irresistible. And there are a number of other books that are out there to help us understand how these technologies work and how to help ourselves, because sometimes we are addicted and our children see us addicted to our phones. We don't know how to put the phone on silent when we return home from the office. So, remember, your children are a mirror also. And sorry for chopping too much time, but I hope there's something useful in that explanation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sheikh. Well, I know that we have short the time allocated for your session, but there's one important question on the chat box that I would like you to respond to, and then we can pause and move to the next session. And that is, how do we address parents with differing views on their parenting? How can we help such parents to do better?
Okay. Firstly, it's important to remember there's no one way of parenting. And sometimes the parents need to go for courses in parenting. There's always this feeling that I know better. No, I know better. This is my style. Firstly, let us remember you have people in rural areas who have not gone for any courses in parenting who are raising very good, healthy children. So it's not something that is rocket science. There are some key principles and nothing more important than the relationship between the two of you and your character, those two, the kind of person you are at your core, your own integrity, and then your relationship with your spouse. And where you are having differing parenting styles, there's the need to look at that as a black box moment, time between the two of you to discuss it. And this is where it's important to have your personal board of directors get advice. How do I approach my wife on this issue? If it is one where you both differ on this, all right, who do we both agree we can consult regarding? Because there's usually no clear right and wrong. There are some that are clearly wrong, that will just spoil your children, and that's important. Some mothers, some fathers have been so away from their children that they feel guilty that they have not had enough time with their children, and so feel they will compensate by buying gadgets and pleasing their children and expensive this, and I'll buy you a horse, I'll buy you a this, I'll buy you a that, as their own way of, so to speak, paying penance. A compensation that is unfortunately very unhealthy. So just because one parent is guilty does not tolerate, or should not be a reason for tolerating a means of raising children that actually spoils children. And so as a parent, if you find that's how your husband is doing something that is not healthy, please have the courage to speak up. You know, courage is calling. There's another interesting book, The Courage to be Disliked, you know, to stand by your virtues. So the courage to be disliked. But I think it just requires, be open. Don't keep quiet. Don't let your children, when you see mistakes in your children, it's your fault. No, talk about it at the time that needs, and get some kind of understanding, and use the disagreement as an opportunity for understanding each other better. Use it as a growth opportunity for the two of you. So look at every disagreement as a growth opportunity for learning. How are you thinking about it? How am I thinking about it? And what could we do better? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. That's it for me. I'll give it over to the the hostesses now. Sheikh, thank you so much for honoring this call. I am really, really grateful. I know, and it's today, this year will mark 20 years since I've known you, and you've been my mentor, and I'm so grateful that you've been able to do this with me once again. Jazakumullah khair. All right, so Coaches Latifa and Coaches Joy, I think you're on now. We'll go to the next session.
Have a wonderful time. God bless you all.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nuruddin. Yeah. Thank you so much, Coach Amina. Wow, that was mind-blowing. That was, yeah, I'm glad I'm here today. Anyways, before we go to the next session, we'll quickly take a message from our sponsors, those who made this event possible, Go See Microfinance Company. So let's just take a quick message from them. Thank you. While we are waiting for that, parents, please, can you just share with me the aha moments you had in this session? What made it exciting for you? You can share in the chat box, please. Thank you. While I wait for the message from our sponsors.
Every day, me and you go comot house, go hustle for market. If any 100 naira, 200 naira, 300 naira. Mama Nkechi, oya take.
Wetin I wan carry 300 naira do?
Mama Nkechi, every day, me and you go comot house, go hustle for market. If anything do us, who go dey our back?
So, na 300 naira one day our back.
You never hear of Goxi Microinsurance, the first licensed specialized microinsurance company for Nigeria, where they give cheap insurance with as low as 300 naira. Goxi Microinsurance get insurance products like Goxi Cooperative Welfare Scheme, Goxi My Business, Goxi Agri Loan Protection, and others wey go give us peace of mind.
Oya, make we start now.
Goxi Microinsurance no dey give loan, but we go help you carry your wahala with our insurance package.
For more information, make you visit them office for Edward and Valeria Plaza, 107 Obafemi Awolowo Way, Ikeja, or make you call 0802-314-0939 and 0815-287-9591. Terms and conditions dey. Goxi Microinsurance. Small money, big help.
Falashade Adejari is an associate family life practitioner and a certified teenagers coach with training from the Institute of Family Systems Engineering and Development. She brings a unique blend of professional expertise and practical experience in navigating family dynamics, adolescent development, and the realities of modern parenting. Passion is about building bridges between parents and teens. Falashade equips families with practical tools for connection, communication, and emotional well-being. She's also the author of insightful books on family life and teen development, and has been featured as a speaker at conferences and community gatherings, where her teachings inspire reflection and transformation. Known for her relatable style and practical wisdom, Falashade continues to be a trusted voice in family life education and personal development, helping parents and young people thrive in today's evolving world.
All right, thank you all for staying with us. If you are excited about the next session, just the way I am, I want you to give a thumbs up in the chat box or give us a clap as we welcome our next speaker for the next session. I know it's been very impactful and we're all looking forward to another insightful session. So put your hands together, the virtual hands together, as we welcome our own very Falashade Adejoru. Thank you all.
Thank you, everybody.
Ma, you have the floor.
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me, please?
Good evening.
Good evening. Loud and clear, man.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. It's such a pleasure to be here. Thank you to everybody that has been with us since Monday. I want to believe that you have had a wonderful, wonderful time. And I must say about Dr. Lemo that is a walking library, actually. He has given us so many resources. Thank you so much, sir. God bless you. Yeah. So today I will be sharing with us on a topic: cultivating creativity, grit, and gratitude. Cultivating creativity, grit, and gratitude around purpose and not performance. Cultivating creativity, grit, and gratitude around purpose and not performance. I'm sure that sounds like a mouthful, actually, but we will get to it. But before I continue, I'd like you to just please go to the chat box and tell me one funny thing or one silly thing that you used to do when you were your adolescent age. Just go to the chat box and tell me one silly thing that you used to do, nothing related to academics, but go to the chat box and let me know. Thank you. Anything? Walk around in heels for hours, like to be alone. Okay. I say no. Keep to myself, wearing my mom's clothes. The document, mo fẹ́ share. I used to cut my clothes, whether new or old, and tell my mom I wanted to change to a new style. I never finished the new styles. Somebody said I used to ask a lot of questions. Okay. Yes. I'll steal my big sister's clothes when going to university. That was about 4 hours away from home, and there was no phone back then. Okay, let me see if we can press our press our neighbors' bells. Interesting. Okay. Now let's get back to the discussion. That was interesting. And I hope your neighbor did not catch you at any time. So let's get to it. Thank you. Now, the way we measure success shapes the kind of young people that we raise. When performance is the target, purpose often gets lost. Now, I have a poser for everybody here, and that is, are we raising performers or purpose-driven young people? And I want you to keep this question at the back of your mind. Am I raising a performer or a purpose-driven young person? Performance-based parenting is a trap, actually. And what do I mean by performance-based parenting? Is the style of parenting that ties the child's value or the child's worth or even the parent's worth to the child's success, the child's achievements, and the child's performance. Many of us, we have not learned to differentiate, to see the value in our children aside when they are performing, aside when they are bringing home awards, aside when they are passing their exams. But I want you all to know that performance is actually a trap. Performance-based parenting is actually a trap. And there are so many ways that we encourage performance-based parenting over purpose. For instance, let me give you an instance. We focus so much on our children's academic performance, accomplishments, grades, talents, rather than the values, intrinsic worth of the child. You know, we value grades over their character. We love and praise only when they perform. Oh, you are such a beautiful girl. What of the character? What of the behavior? Grades and rankings are so much brought to the fore. And it's getting worse by the day. The last prize giving day that was done, if you see on social media what schools are doing, what parents are doing, now you have schools bringing out the children's names, all the grades are out there, and everybody it's becoming a rat race, even for educational institutions. Everybody wants to show. But you see, the effect that this has on these children is that it makes them anxious. It stresses the children out. And you see, whether we like it or not, we are making our children, we are raising our children to be anxious children. And we need to ask ourselves, what purpose is this going to serve? Whatever we are doing is supposed to serve the interest of the child, not our ego. But a lot of the times, the way we raise our children, or the way we want to raise our children, it's, always competition. You want to compare so that the people in the other house, they will know that my child is also there. But we make our children bear the weight of this comparison. And we need, as parents, we need to watch it. Part of the problem that this brings to us is that these children, they will grow up, they become people pleasers, because that was how they were raised. They were never raised around values. All the time you want them to compete, you compare them with their cousins, you compare them with their siblings, you compare them with their friends. Why can't you be like this person? Why can't you be like that boy in your school? Why can't you be like that girl in your school? We have forgotten the fact that our child is unique and is an individual on their own. As parents, our goals should be not to raise children who are afraid to fail. That is the problem that many of us have. We don't want our children to fail. But we all know, if you didn't fail in life, if there are some life lessons that you didn't fail at, how would you be able to pick up yourself? When we talk of somebody is resilient, it's not because they never failed. It's because they learned to pick themselves. So as parents, we need to have a mindset shift. You understand? Having a mindset shift that our children can fail. Of course, yes, sometimes you say, God forbid, Ọlọ́run má jẹ́, I reject it, and the like. But whether we like it or not, our children must be able to fail. But when they fail, let them fail forward. What are the lessons that they are going to learn, having failed? Somebody that has not failed cannot talk about lessons in resilience. Our children have become, somebody might be wondering, so what does she mean? My children are supposed to be my pride. Yes, our children are supposed to be our pride, but they are not supposed to bear the weight of our wanting to go on ego trips. We want to raise trophy children. Every time, you are dressing them up so that they will know that this is my own child and as different from other children. Parents are not even, they are not dressing children to be children again. You see some children dressed up and you begin to wonder, we are making them to lose their childhood, all because of our own ego. And one of the things that we should allow this summit to do for us is that as parents, we need to avoid the performance trap for our children. Where the other ways that we focus on performance, even in schools, learning styles, we have forgotten that we have different types of children and that children have different learning methods. But schools, we the learning methods for the same. So a child that is, maybe in a school, they are using visual learning alone and probably auditory. And a child that is a kinesthetic learner is left out. So these are some of the areas that we need to watch out for. The uniqueness of every child and to serve the need of every child. And again, limiting, schools, we limit subjects to just the so-called prestigious ones. English, maths, but whether we like it or not, there are some children that will never win any award in maths. They will never win any award in English. They will never win any award in the so-called prestigious subjects, but we leave them behind. Every child is one way or the other talented, but we leave them out. We only celebrate the ones that are passing the so-called prestigious subjects, leaving out the other children that, maybe for whatever reason, they are doing well in other subjects that are not really our favorites. These are areas that we need to call attention to. Even as parents, I've been in the education sector. You see some parents saying, no, I'm not going to buy books in this subject. They are less important. Probably that particular parent, that is where the child has the strength. So you are already shortchanging your child. We are looking at performance over purpose. All these actions, stifle the purpose of the child. Your child is unique, and you need, as a parent, to discover the uniqueness of your child. Again, I would like to draw our attention to what happened on Monday when Dr. Runke Posh, when she was talking, she spoke about her daughter who was going to, who said she wanted to study a course that even she herself, she didn't understand. But instead of stifling, instead of stopping, she studied, she went ahead, she made researches, and then, she used that to encourage the daughter. That is a parent. But for some of us, we put our foot down and say, never. Imagine if that young lady had been stopped from studying the course that she had wanted to study. I also have, in the case of one of my daughters, I remember way back, maybe like 15 years before COVID. COVID was what brought the virtual office, made it a reality for many of us. This girl, she just woke up one day, we were talking, and she said, me, I'm not, the kind of work I'm going to do, I'm not going to be going to the office. And I looked at her, I was wondering, what's this one talking about? Because as far as I was concerned, I didn't know anything about working and not going to the office. So I just, in my heart, I just felt, okay, when you share kind of a thing, that when you are old, when you are grown, when we get to that bridge, we'll cross it. But lo and behold, she studied a course that I was, mass comm. Again, I felt is either she worked in a media house, broadcasting station. I just had my ideas. So when it was about time for her to finish school, I was trying to set her up, to link her up with one or two people that could help her get a job. She said, "Mommy, I've already told you." And this was like 10 years before. He said, "I already told you I don't want to do all those things." I was wondering, you studied mass comm. What do you mean? But she carved a niche for herself. What am I talking about? A lot of the times we stifle our children. We stifle our children, we stifle their creativity, we stifle their ideas because of our own limited worldview. And these are areas that are calling for attention as parents. When we focus on performance, you are always asking telling your child somebody that comes second is the first loser. What is that? I remember as a young girl in Form 1, I had 99% in a subject, and my father was asking me for the 1%. What that did to me, he thought he wanted to use that to encourage me to be better, but I bet you what that did to me was that my heart just sank that, what else can I do to please this man? And many of us as parents, we still go ahead, we still do some of these things, but we need to know better and we need to do better. What this does to our children is it makes them become anxious, perfectionists, people that are unsure of themselves. They are always afraid of disappointing us, low self-esteem, identity confusion. It's even stressful. And if care is not taken, we can lose that connection with our children. Now, let's go to this picture. What does this picture mean to you? I'd like you to put it in the chat box. What can you see in this picture? Let this picture tell a story. Yes. He probably missed a goal. Okay, frustration.
Disappointment.
Disappointment. Disappointed, frustration. Now, sadness, failure, an emotional moment, positive or negative. Okay, thank you, everybody. Now, it's only Ima that even tried to pick something positive from this picture. And that is the idea we have when people fail. All we have seen, this guy, he participated in the game. That is a plus. To have been able to participate in this game required some level of discipline. Waking up to practice, consistency, showing up. We didn't see that. So this is somebody that had shown up. This is somebody that had shown commitment. This is somebody that had been disciplined. And oftentimes, this is the same way that we look at failure. The fact that he didn't win, that is all that we see. So in the next slide, like I have explained, our children don't always have to win. We have seen when I've worked in primary school, secondary, I retired from a university, working in a university. And I've seen over and over parents that don't have team spirit, that are not teaching. So once their children is not the winner, they feel that their world had come to an end. So, but the fact that your child participated in the debate or in cultural dance or whatever activity, the fact that your child participated meant that they had learned certain values, value of discipline and consistency, teamwork and collaboration, receiving and applying feedback. Probably that particular footballer will say, okay, what did we not do well? Then they go back home, re-strategize, and who knows, his team might be the winning team another time. The joy of expression and creativity, resilience, and handling disappointment. So let that picture tell more stories, not just stories of failure, of disappointment, but of value, of discipline, consistency, receiving and applying feedback, teamwork and collaboration, so many other lessons. So I'll go to purpose. Remember that we said that we want to cultivate creativity, grit, and gratitude around purpose and not performance. We have seen what it looks like to be a performative parent, performance-driven parent. But now we want to look at purpose-driven parenting. And that's parenting your children with long-term goals in mind as to how they can become the best versions of themselves. It's about raising children guided by values and not just results. Too often we are interested in just getting results, and it is because of our wanting to show off. We want to show off, let everybody know that my own child too, Omolagbaja, is there. It's beautiful for our children to win awards. It's a wonderful thing. But I must say that it's not every child that will win awards. Some children are slow learners, slow developers. They blossom late in life. But everything is about prizes, marks, awards, coming first. Your child may not be coming first, but they might have so much more to them than coming first. Have you praised your child for being honest, for being truthful? Does that count for you? Even in schools, how many times, who is writing on the board? How many times have schools, best behaved? It's like one of those things. Okay, I remember when I was teaching in a primary school, the proprietress then, she used to give prizes. Many parents didn't understand it. She used to give prizes to the most improved child. So a child could have had 45% average, or maybe 55, let's say 55% average, getting a prize. But my proprietress then would give that child a prize. Probably last session, the child was just averaging 35. And the child had a 55. She looks at it not the way many of us will look at it. Maybe the child that came first had 85% last term. This term, he had 84%. But we will still tell ourselves he came first. Is that a progress or a retrogression? I'm sure we all know that that is some retrogression. For that child that had 85% last term, had 84% this term, but still came first. I remember one of my children, she was in primary school then. We came back from the prize giving day, and she said, oh, you know, with this level of ego, and she just said, oh, there's nobody to beat again. I always come first. But that particular term, the percentage, her percentage went lower than previous sessions. And for me, that was a danger signal. This child was satisfied. Oh, after all, even though her percentage was lower, she still came first. And we got home, and my daughter boasted about it, that, oh, I'm always coming first. And I told her, I said, there is one more person to beat. And this girl was like 8, 9 years old then. And she looked at me. She said, Mommy, I mean, I came first. And I said, no, there's one more person to beat. And she said, who? I said, you have yourself to beat. You are competing against yourself and not against anybody in that class. And that was a life lesson. And I'm so happy that she had learned, this particular child had learned after that incident to make herself, you are competing against yourself. You must become your best self. You don't relent until you have become your best self. So that is what being purpose-driven is all about. It's Dr. Miles Monroe that said, when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. As parents, we need to ask ourselves, who is my child? Remember, we said purpose-driven parenting is raising children guided by values, raising children for the long term, not just children competing against other children. Ask yourself, have I been able to find out the purpose of this, my child? There's something in our institute that we refer to as the user manual. And when you buy a product, the product tells you about the capabilities and the functions. You know, the manual tells you about the capabilities and the functions of that product. It tells you about the processes, how to use. How many of us have been able to discover the function, the capabilities of our children, other than just the general curriculum that the school is running them through? Have you been able to develop a user manual for your child? Who is my child? How does this child want to be seen, soothed, heard? Who is my child really? And who do I want this child to be on a long run? That is what it's the implication of purpose-driven parenting is all about. Just as things have purpose, individuals, humans also have their purpose. So don't think of next session as the children are planning to resume school. All many of us are thinking about is just that session, first term, second term, third term. Think 5 years' time. Think 10 years' time. Who is this child going to be in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, 15 years' time? The kind of exposure I am giving to my child, are they enough to make that child to be this person that I have envisioned him or her to be? How will my child benefit the world? Like Dr. Lemu said, we don't want to raise children that are liabilities to the world, children that give the world unrest. How will my child benefit the world? How will what are the things? So you know, when you talk of a product manual, it now talks of the processes. You know, when if you check the manual for your blender, for instance, you see 1, 2, 3. They tell you how to screw everything together, because everything comes, you know, it's not together. You don't have the full blender seated, you know, inside the engine when you went to buy it. But by reading the manual, you know, okay, this is how to couple, and this is how this product will give me the maximum benefit. What are the visions and the values that you are imputing in your child? That is talking about purpose-driven parenting. See your child as an individual that has his own unique gifts, strengths, and voice. Like Dr. Lemu said, he said, the fact that you raise the first child in a particular manner does not mean that you have to raise the second child the same way. I'll give you an instance of my children. I have one, while growing up, she will speak her mind. She can tell an adult to their face that you are going wrong. I have another one, in fact, to tell you that you are hurting her. There was a time somebody, you know, her hand got squeezed, you know, squeezed in between the car door. And this girl, she was still managing, keeping the pain. Meanwhile, the other one, in fact, that adult, she would have slapped, she would have slapped you. But can't you see what you have done to me? In one, we had to become bold, learn to speak, own your voice, speak out. The other one, we had to, this one, we had to, we knew that, yes, speak your mind, but learn to speak your mind, still being respectful, because you are speaking to adults. Can you see the difference? But if we want to raise one, saying, why can't you be like your sister? Why can't you be like your other sister? We'll be doing each child an injustice. So let's be purpose-driven in raising our children. Now we go to creativity. Why does creativity matter? And when we talk of creativity, we are not just talking about arts. We are not just talking about arts now. It's about using imagination to produce something original. Let your children be problem solvers. Let them learn to think. It could be art, it could be some other things. It could be in the field of engineering. I have one of my teenagers in church is in the university. Every time he's always posting on his status. He's studying engineering. He's always posting on his status his inventions. So that is creativity. He's not painting, he's not drawing, but he's creative. So it's not limited to artistic fields. It's a valuable skill in every aspect of life, from problem solving to communication. Why does creativity matter? Somebody that is creative will be adaptable. Something is not working, you know the next thing to do. Something happened this afternoon before the teen session, and what Coach Amina did is what I would have termed as creativity, adaptability. You don't throw your hands up in the air because one strategy has failed, and you just throw your hands up in the air and you start sulking or whatever. Imagine if she was not creative, then the anger will show. Everybody in the room would even know that, oh, something is happening to Coach Amina. Creativity makes you adaptable. It matters. You need to be curious. It's about innovation. The people that are inventing things is because they were creative. So you don't just want to be a copycat, just copying. You must be creative. You must be adaptable. And what part of what helps you to be creative is when you know freedom. Learn to play. We are taking play away from children. We are making them do things that adults will do. When I was in primary school, when we are having end of session programs, I knew the things we would do. Now they are doing prom. You see them and the parents, they revel in that. You see a boy coming into school, a boy leaving primary school, or perhaps even secondary school, is coming in Lexus cars. Some of them are coming in convoys. He has a girl on his arm. These are things that we didn't do before. Let our children learn to play. Unstructured play. Let me give you an example. If you buy a toy for children, your child, just drop it on the floor. You don't necessarily have to say this is how to use it. Part of helping the child's creativity is just keeping it somewhere. The child gets curious. He will open the pack. He might not even start with the real toy. The first thing that he might deal with is the packaging. And play has started. Creativity has started. The child is learning to express himself or herself. We need to encourage.
To interrupt you, ma'am. Sorry, I apologize for interrupting you, but we have run out of time. I sent you a reminder, but you didn't read your message. I apologize.
I'm so sorry. Let me just run quickly. So we need to encourage our children to be creative, allow expression, encourage questions, celebrate efforts, expose them to variety, allow room for mistakes, celebrate process and not just product. So we go to grit. Grit is passion and perseverance, the inner strength to stay the course, not because you are being watched, but because you care about the outcome. If you see this picture, this guy is not giving up. And we need to inculcate this into our children. That's ability not to give up. And as parents, to do this, we need to model resilience to our children, give age-appropriate tasks without rushing to fix things. We are always eager to fix our children. You don't want them to make mistakes. You quickly help them. No, this is how to do it. No, let that child make that mistake and let them learn from it. Encourage persistence, encourage effort over outcome, and normalize failure. Then gratitude. That one, yes, for grit, what didn't work? What did I learn? What will I do next time? Why does gratitude matter? Gratitude improves mindsets, builds resilience, reduces entitlement. You'll agree with me. The world is now full of entitled children. They feel they are entitled to your money. They are entitled to your time. They feel entitled. They might not even want to do anything. We need to raise people that are grateful to God, to humans. Somebody does something for you, you say, so he cannot even do more than this. So with all his wealth, this is all he can give me. With her status, this is all she can do. We need to raise people that are grateful. How to grow gratitude is something that should be done on a daily basis. Daily thankfulness rituals. Let's model gratitude to our children. Rather than complain, let us, when you want to complain, ask yourself, what good thing can I see in this situation? Give thanks. Have a gratitude journal. You will see that by so doing, you would have being able to cultivate gratitude in your children. So my charge to us this evening is, let's learn to parent for purpose. What do you want your child to stand for in the long run? Understand that purpose beats performance. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for listening. God bless you.
Thank you so much, our coach, for this evening. Such an insightful moment. Wow, this is awesome. I want to appreciate you for all that you have helped us to learn today. Personally, I have learned a lot. You know, you talked about us using our children's performance to build our ego. For me, that was very, very, very profound. I don't need my children's performance to make me be who I am. And you also told us that we should parent for the future. I think as we were talking, what came to my mind is the book called Failing Forward. We should learn to help our children to fail forward. They should see something good in every area of their lives. Whether you fail, whether you do well, there's something good to come that can always come out from that. Thank you so much. I want to apologize. We ate into your time. The first session ate into your time, and you didn't have so much time to do justice to your topic. But that's not, you still did very, very amazing, Ma. We're very grateful. Okay, parents, I wanted to go to the chat box. I don't know if you still have questions. If you have questions, maybe we can take one or two before we call it off for today. Thank you very much. As we wait for the questions to come in, I would like us to take once more to appreciate our sponsors. We want to thank all our sponsors that made this program a success. So if while we wait for the questions to come forth, can we have the arts for
Sorry, someone is raising her hand up. It's Alimi SB. If you can let her speak, please.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, you can go ahead.
We are listening.
Alimi SB, please go ahead with your question.
Is she there?
Looks like she's not there, but she raised her hand earlier. So
okay,
go on.
Okay. All right. Once again, the Gogzi Micro Insurance, we want to say thank you to you. Guided Path School, thank you so much for bringing this program to us on a platter of gold. We also want to thank the Rightful Limited and a very indefatigable team of the Timeless Soul International. Thank you so much. Last year it was a bomb. This year again is so insightful. I hope that parents are going home today to change the dynamics of parenting in the community, especially those of us who are teachers who will learn how to handle all the children in classes. It's not just those that are performing the high flyers. Every child has something to offer to the community. So I want to say thank you to everyone. As we round up tonight, can we have the sponsor? Yes, thank you.
Welcome to GPS, Guided Path School, where we are provided with first-class education that caters to intellectual growth and physical well-being in a morally, spiritually, and culturally enriched environment, using modern teaching strategies and aids that propel learners above boundaries. Our core values are the high five: faith, focus, fairness, friendship, and future.
I am Abdulmutahal Bello, and the name of my school is Guided Path Private School.
We have different programs to achieve this. At GPS, we are groomed to be well-rounded children. So, apart from core academics, we have time to play and do extracurricular activities which include karate, young engineers, swimming, way with words, and many more.
My name is Ali Asana. My best food is jollof rice and meat.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Guided Path School and I am Mrs. Lasaki, the school director. We intend to take your precious jewels and educate them and also teach them sound Islamic values.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Abimbola Yusuf and I'm the mom of Amira and Abdulazim. GPS has been very impactful in the lives of children. They are very well-rounded in all aspects. Spiritually, they are very sound. Academically, they are very sound.
GPS, everything might be beneficial knowledge.
Okay.
Okay, we can close now. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Coach Falashade, for staying with us today. Thank you, all our parents, for your time. I can bet you it is not very easy to get parents to stay till this time. It is because you love your children and you want to raise the best kind of children. And like our first speaker for tonight says, our children are like an arrow we are shooting into the future. I know that's why you stayed with us up till the end of this program. We're very grateful. Latifa, what do you think about the program for today? I know you've learned a lot.
Of course, I learned so much. I learned that the teamwork between the husband and wife tells a lot on the children. So instead of focusing mainly on the children, work on yourself as a team as well, husband and wife. So, and that the digital aspect, which is one of the problems we face in this time, it wasn't there when we were growing up, you know, the devices and all that. So yeah, it's mind-blowing and it's been insightful. Thank you to all our speakers.
Yeah, that's great. Timeless Soul, long live this Timeless Soul International for always bringing it right. In fact, when I saw the topics for this year, I just knew it was going to be another time again. Thank you so much. We pray for more sponsors for next year's program. We look forward to even the physical session that is holding. We know that at the end of the day, we're going to all be grateful for being part of this program. Thank you so much for staying with us. Thank you to the team, the moderators, the sponsors, everyone. Parents are very, very very knowledgeable speakers. God bless you all. Have a fantastic night rest.
And
today.
please, if you have not registered for the physical session, please don't sleep on it. Do so and please attend. Thank you.
Yes, that's true. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Summit 2025. None of this would be possible without the unwavering support of our incredible partners, sponsors, facilitators, volunteers, and vendors. We pause to say a heartfelt thank you to our sponsors, Goxi Microinsurance, Dr. Abdul Rashid Salih, ACSL Accountants, Coach Aluchi Bosenu of Delightsome Haven, Boy Estate Siblings, Queris Consult, and Right Food. Your commitment to strengthening families and shaping future-forward generations is the fuel behind this movement. To our watch party hosts like the Latifa Modapeola Okunu Foundation in Lagos Island and Lagos Infolab Institute and others, who are extending this impact globally, and to every facilitator, both online and on-site, thank you for lending your wisdom, skills, and heart. We honor our volunteers, the unseen heroes who give their time, passion, and energy to hold up the walls of this summit. And to our vendors and exhibitors, thank you for bringing innovation and resources that enrich the family experience. You make our spaces vibrant and our vision practical. And to you, our participants across the world, this journey is for you and with you. The virtual summit has begun, but don't stop there. Party Popper on August 30th, we gather for the grand finale in Ikeja for a powerful in-person experience filled with conversations, connections, exhibitions, and the live edition of the free coaching clinic. If you've been part of the virtual sessions, this is your invitation to step into the room. Register now and join us for a day that will transform how families think, feel, and do. Together, we are building future-forward families. Together, we are rewriting the story. Summit 2025, none of this would be